Hey folks, Dan from D&N Custom Creations. Got a little short video today. I bought an MR1 CNC mill from the Langmuir folks. Been real happy with the plasma table, so I thought, well, we'll give this a shot. Don't know if I'm going to wind up figuring out how to make it pay for itself, but it's been a lot of fun trying to learn the 3D part of CNC to complement the 2D stuff they've been doing on the plasma table. So I wanted to show you, I had them build it for me. It comes as a kit, you can do it yourself. And just like that plasma table, I mean, I learned a heck of a lot when I built it about the guts to it. And if I had to make any changes or something, I was pretty comfortable going back and mucking around with it. In this mill, since I had it built, I'm always a little bit apprehensive about trying to, take something off and etc. But anyway, it came in built, and I've got it set up, and I've been playing around with some stuff. I've actually been following the Titans and CNC's got a free course where you can kind of get your feet wet, and I'll show you some of the things that I've made. It's an excellent course in my opinion. It really has helped a lot because not only do you go through the CAD stuff, your Fusion 360, in some of the more complex things that I'll show, but also then they've got a cam part, and they've got it for Tormach, which is a low horsepower machine, kind of like the MR1, and so I can follow along with that and modify some things to fit what I think the MR1 would utilize, and it's been pretty successful. I had a few little issues. The other day I broke a daggum brand new $50 carbide 1/4-inch end mill, first hole. So that's been a little bit of a nightmare, but other than that, I've been pretty happy with what it's done. What I'd like to show you is some of the mods that I did to it when it did show up, and then I'll show you the things that I've cut out. And so let me get turned around here a little bit. Okay, the first thing is when they provide the machine and bought the monitor, the way the monitor is set, it sticks out into my pathway, and I didn't want that. Didn't want to have to work around that. So I bought this swivel thing for the monitor, and you can see I can actually close it right up and get it out of my pathway when I'm not using the machine. Works real well. I'm happy with it. So I'm gonna hand do this phone or this video a little bit. So I hope I don't shake too much. The other thing I did, Langmuir provides one of the things that they offer is this little device to hold your tool when you're undoing the collet. Well, since I had the plasma table, I thought, well, heck, I can make one of those things. So I've done that. The other thing I've done is these misters. I decided not to do flood coolant. Now, I don't know, a little bit later, it may be I might find that that's not a good idea. But so far, using mist coolers have been, just fine. And bought these things from SST. I think they're called Simple Stupid Tools. And I got a dual one. Well, it came with a magnet. Let me see. I'll see if I can show you what that looks like. Came with your standard magnetic base, these things. And the problem was, occasionally, when I would get a little bit of chatter or a little bit of vibration, those things would start sliding down. I had them just stuck on the side of this thing here, and they'd start moving. So I actually tapped and drilled holes for those things, and they're easy now to move. And I really like how easy it is to change the mist, how much coolant you get out using this big knob instead of a lot of the misters have a real pain in the butt. And I've got two of them, one on each side, and you can see they're aimed down right at the whatever tool. And so far they've worked really well. I've been pretty happy with them. Haven't had any issues. Let's see if there doesn't. Oh, obviously you see in the light. I'm sure this is going to blind the camera, but I mounted the LEDs all the way around, not on the back side, but in the front and the two sides. And I get lots of light on the where I'm working. So that's pretty much. Oh, one other mod I did, when on the control box, there's your emergency stop. So you're standing in front of the machine, if something goes wrong, you got to run around the outside and just slam that thing. Well, I didn't like that, so I mounted a second one up here on the front. So when I'm standing here in front of my monitor, if something happens, I can just reach up there and slam that thing and shut the machine down. Now it's a hard shut off, probably not the best, but so far I hadn't had to use it. So I would rather it do a hard shut off than, cause some damage to the machine. I think that's about it on the mods that I've done. I did make a little standoff for a tool setter back here. That's out of Delrin. And I think that's about it. Now, let me show you some of the things I've made. See if I can do this without blinding the camera. So these are the things, and they're not very big. They're about like 4 inches. That was the first thing I think you cut out. And then there's this item. Also been thread milling. Obviously, the MR-1 won't cut threads. So I'm using a tap, and so I thread mill. But man, it's worked really well. So here's a couple other little things where you cut some slots in it and do some pockets, cut some lands out. Here's one where you cut a little O-ring. That was a 16th inch carbide end mill. I was sweating bullets when that thing was going around trying to cut that O-ring groove, but it seemed to work okay. They also did a little bit of engraving, and that seemed to work pretty good. I think that's the Titans of CNC. I think that's their logo. What's next? Here's an unusual shape a little bit, where you had to do both sides. That worked pretty good. Then started to get a little more complex, where it's kind of an unusual shape, almost like I don't know. It almost reminds me of a brake caliper, because inside it's got the groove for the seal. So you could think of that almost as a brake caliper kind of a thing. And then the last thing I cut today was this one that's a little bit more of a 3D geometry shape, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I've got one more in their series. They've got 9 or 10, I think 10 things that you could build, and I think this was number 9. So they got one more that's even a little more complex, and once I get that done, then I might actually do something for real. We'll find out. Hopefully get some machine to pay for itself. Anyway, so that's kind of an update of what's going on in the shop, things that are new that I've been working on. And like I say, bought this MR-1. Now we'll see if we can figure out what the heck we're going to do with it. All right. Hey, thanks, Dan, for D&N Custom Creations.